Hello everyone, I'm Amir from Neurobit Technologies and I'm super excited to announce that we released a new version of our automatic scorer called Neo. The new version can work with any combination of EEG, EOG and EMG channels. For example, it can work with only EEG or only EOG channels. Neo also handles electrode drop-offs and noisy channels seamlessly without any user intervention. So let's get started. First, you will need an API key, which you can request one from us. Next, you download the Neo command line tools, which is right now available for Windows only. I will release the Mac and Linux version soon. I've already downloaded this, so just go on and unzip it. Just double click on Neo command line. You don't really need to install anything, you can directly run it from the folder. Now type Neo to see all the available commands. We have 6 different commands. We have check to check the status of your license, config to configure your license, remove to remove any existing license, score is the main command to actually score your data, update is to check for any available updates for the application, and usage is to detail your usage of the service. So let's first configure the license by typing neo config. You don't really need to change the server URL. You may notice that we have updated our API to version 2. You can just press enter to continue. Next, you enter your email ID and API key. Now I have already done this, so I will just cancel the operation by pressing Ctrl C. Now let's check my license status by typing neo check. It will tell you your license validity and your API limits. Next, let's see how much I have used the service by typing neo usage. On the bottom, how many credits are left and how many I have already used, and all the details associated with are above this. You can check for any available updates by typing neo update. At this moment, there are no available updates. Now let's move to the most important command, that is neo score. You can type neo score -- help to see all the available options. The first option is -- path, which is the path to the directory with all the EDF files, or it could be just one EDF file. The second is -- rescore, which is to rescore any data that is already scored. -- suppress is to suppress any errors due to failure of quality checks. Now by default this is off and it should remain off. -- reconfigure. Now with the new version of Neo, instead of asking for the channel labels every time you run the program, which is very irritating and could be a source of errors, we actually store all the channel informations in a configuration file called channels.json. This is kept in the directory where all the EDF files are present. Now if you do not have a configuration file, the first time you run NeoScore, it creates one for you, and you can then use the reconfig option to change the settings at a later stage. But once configured, you don't need to provide the channel labels every time you run the software. And finally is the -- offline. Now this is to let Neo know that you are running the software in an offline mode. This is mostly for our on-premise server customers. Okay, now let's score some data. I have these 3 files which are quite massive at 3.5 gigs. To score this, just go to the command line and type neo score -- path and paste the path to the files. Because there is no channel configuration file present in that directory, Neo will run a configuration and ask you which channels are present and the corresponding channel labels. Now you have to do this just once. The first question is C382 channel present? And the answer is yes. Now provide all the C3A2 channel labels in the format channel number colon reference number. So in this case, C3M2, which is channel number 3 with no re-referencing, will be the first option. So 3 colon 0. But as a backup, we can provide additional channels. So in this case, C3, which is channel number 1, could be a backup. So 1 colon 0 because no re-referencing is required. And another backup could be C3M1, which is channel number 2. So 2 colon 0. So what happens is Neo will first look for C3M2, which is 3 colon 0. If it couldn't find it, it will go to the next, which is 1 colon 0, which is C3. If it couldn't find it, it will go to C3M1, which is 2 colon 0. And if it couldn't find any of the channel labels in a particular file, it will just ignore that channel and send you a warning that that channel is missing. Now I will continue doing this for all the channels that Neo needs. If a particular channel is not present, just say no, and it will simply ignore that channel. Now Neo can work with any combination of EEG, EOG and EMG channels. If you have just EOG, it works. If you have just EEG, it works. So it's quite flexible in that regards. Once this is done, Neo will ask you which formats you want to save the scores in. Just to be clear, the CSV format only saves sleep stages and not any annotations. The rest of the formats can save sleep stages as well as annotations, which is at this stage artifacts. If you want the scores in a particular format which is currently absent, just let us know and we will add the feature in the next release. In this case, I want to save the scores in CSV, which is 1, and MAT, which is 2, so 1, 2. Neo will now show the full configuration file. Just take a quick look and make sure that everything is correct. Then you can press yes and continue. So Neo now generated a configuration file in the EDF folder. Let me quickly show you the configuration file. Now the advantage is that when I score the next time with the configuration file present, I do not have to provide any channel labels or the formats or anything. I can just type neo score -- path and provide the path, and the scoring will be done in one click. Now let me demonstrate this for you. I go to the command line and type neo score -- path and provide the path. It will tell you how many credits will be used if I continue. So in this case, I say yes, and the scoring begins. If you remember, the file sizes were quite massive. Each record was over a gig, but still the whole file could be scored in less than 30 seconds because we actually compress the data by sometimes more than 100x before we actually send it to the server. So the whole process of analyzing, uploading and getting the scores back is extremely fast and transparent for the user, and it could be done in less than 30 seconds for one record. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you face any problems, let us know. We hope that Neo can help you accelerate the pace of your research by providing fast, accurate and highly consistent automatic sleep scoring. Thank you.